Hey guys, so I finally have my daughter, and I will show you her right now, but she is sleeping, so I'll have to do that some other time. And she's in a little bit of a crabby mood because she had to have a PKU test done, and them poking her little foot did not make for a very good morning. So I'll have to show you her when she's in a better mood, which I'll hopefully do later. That and she's been having tummy trouble, so she's not very happy. Um, anyway, thought I'd let you know kind of what happened. I know it's been a long time since I made videos, and it's actually been a couple weeks, like 3 weeks, I think. Um, she'll be 2 weeks old tomorrow, actually, so I'm pretty happy. Um, anyway, let's get started. Okay, so on October 11th, I went into the doctor because I had been bleeding for a few days and it was freaking me out. So I went in and they checked me, said I was about 3 centimeters dilated and 100% effaced. So I was definitely, like, I was headed towards labor, obviously. Uh, but it wasn't progressing really very fast. It's 3 centimeters, not that much. So my midwife stripped my membranes and ended up saying, okay, well, if that doesn't work, we're going to send you in on Monday, and, you know, we'll send you in on the 15th. Sorry, I'm looking at the calendar. We'll send you in on the 15th and have you induced. If the beds are open and there's nothing going on that day, like if there isn't a lot of people here. So, I went home later that day, had a lot of cramping because when they strip your membranes, it can hurt a little bit. It's not. I think that was more uncomfortable than the majority of my labor, actually. Um, so they did that, and I think it just, I was not expecting it. They didn't tell me they were going to do it. They just did it and then said, okay, that'll help speed you along. And so she told me if nothing had happened by Monday, they would induce me. So I went home, started cramping, was having a lot of back pain. Like it just, it comes and goes. It felt like something would sit on my back or something and it hurt. And so all through Thursday, it built and built and built. Thursday night, I could not sleep. I hurt so freaking bad. I was about ready to start crying. It was very uncomfortable. And I got up Friday morning and basically told, like, I kept waiting because they basically told me, unless your water breaks or unless you cannot handle the pain, don't bother coming in. So Friday, I was uncomfortable all day. I took like 3 showers trying to get my back to stop hurting. Nothing was helping. And I was trying to walk around, thinking it would help ease that pain. Sitting, standing, it didn't matter. Everything hurt. And so I pretty much walked around my house, taking showers, and trying to relax all Friday. And by about 2 o'clock, I thought I was going to start crying because I was so uncomfortable. And I didn't know, I knew that there was no way I could go through another night of what I was feeling. My back hurt so bad, and it was coming and going every couple minutes. It would stop, and then it would start almost automatically, like within 2 minutes, I'd feel it again. And it was just, no, not fun. So, um, I finally talked to my parents and said, I think I'm going to go in because if this isn't labor, then I'm just going to go ahead and have them induce me. I'm not going through this anymore. And so I went in Friday at about 2:30-ish to labor and delivery. And my doctor came in, checked me, 5 centimeters. No wonder why I was uncomfortable. And so they told me that they were going to go ahead and keep me because I obviously was progressing. I wasn't, my water hadn't broken, but I was doing it. I'm sorry, I thought I heard my daughter waking up. But my body was obviously doing something with being 5 centimeters dilated. And so they kept me there. They had me get in the bathtub, which helped a lot with back pain. And I got out. My family had pretty much shown up and was talking to me while I sat in bed. Uh, Sat around, hung out, talked, called a couple people. Uh, was laughing, having fun, sitting around. And a couple hours later, I decided, okay, I'm getting uncomfortable again. I want to take a bath. Another one. So went ahead, took my bath. My sister sat in there with me and talked, and we were hanging out. And I had one really bad contraction, or what I'm assuming was a contraction. My back hurt really bad, and I had to stop talking, close my eyes, sit there, breathe through it. Uh, then I was like, okay, I don't want to sit in here anymore. This is not comfortable anymore. So they helped me get out of the bathtub, went out into got dressed, went out into the room, sat on the bed. Doctor came in, checked me again, 9 centimeters. And so she was like, well, you can't really do your epidural now if you wanted one, so I guess you're going to have your natural birth like you wanted. Great. I still felt pretty good though. I mean, I wasn't in extreme amount of pain. I could breathe through my contractions. They weren't that bad. The back pain was pretty uncomfortable, but it had been uncomfortable for a couple of months, so it wasn't anything new. And so they had me sitting there breathing through contractions at 9 centimeters. Uh, they switched midwives right about that time when I went to 9 centimeters, and so the midwife who I really like came in and was talking to me, and so a little bit later I started getting really uncomfortable. She checked me again. There was hardly anything left of my cervix. It was just about to 10. There was only like tiny little lip of cervix left. So she decided to tell me, she decided to break my water. That was uncomfortable. No, that was awful. I was not happy. Then my contractions started getting worse. And I was still able to breathe through them. I was getting a lot more uncomfortable, but I was still doing okay. Then they decided, sorry, readjusting. They told me that they were going to have me sit on the ball because, on a birthing ball, because apparently baby was not dropping the way she was supposed to. She was sitting in this spot, really weird. And so I got on the birthing ball, was on that for a few minutes, and they were having me just kind of push when I feel a contraction. Wasn't really doing anything. Got up off of that, and they got me in bed, checked me again. I was fully dilated, but the baby was not turned the right way. She was facing the wrong direction. Not her head up by my chest area. She was head down, but she was turned the wrong direction, facing the wrong way. So my midwife tells me, roll over onto your side and pull your leg up as high as you can by your chest. I apparently did not move fast enough because she grabbed me and pulled me as hard as she could and ripped my leg up by my chest. I screamed. That, I think, is the most pain I have felt in a long time. It hurt so bad. I could not help but scream. And I kept telling her, please don't do that, please don't do that. Well, then, baby finally started turning. She wasn't completely turned, but she was turning, and that was good. So they told me they decided it was time to start pushing. Well, I went ahead and started pushing, and not too long later, maybe an hour or so later, finally had her. She got stuck in the birth canal. I could not get her out. And it apparently was terrifying my midwife, and she was thinking that the baby was not going to come out. So that was a little scary. They had me on oxygen, to try to make sure that she was getting enough oxygen. And they had to put a probe on her head because they needed to monitor her heartbeat, and I could not have them having that monitor strapped to my stomach. I couldn't handle it anymore. Sorry. And so they did put a probe on her head so that they could monitor her heartbeat, and her heartbeat started slowing down, so they just kept telling me, push, push, push. Finally, she came out. She was 8 pounds, 1 ounce, 13-centimeter head, and 20.5 inches long. So she's a big girl. And I tore pretty badly and had to get stitches, which was no fun. And, but that's not bad. Like, I tore really bad, but I had no epidural, no Demerol, with no pain medication whatsoever. And the only thing that they actually gave me, like, I figured they would do an episiotomy, which is they cut you so that the baby can fit through instead of letting you tear, because if you tear, sometimes you can tear further than they want you to. No, I didn't get any of that. I got a little jar of olive oil and a midwife pulling on me, trying to stretch me out. So that was not, no, that was no fun. But I was able to do it. No pain medication. Uh, I only screamed maybe 10 times, and that was when they were trying to make me move. And that was, I think, more painful than the actual contractions and the baby coming out. I was getting pretty irritated with having the oxygen mask on my face. Felt like it was suffocating me. Do not like having things near my face. So that was no good. And, yeah, she was born, big baby, and she was okay. They were a little worried about her at first, and everything, but they went ahead and sent both of us to the room. Well, about 3 o'clock in the morning, they came down, said, oh, we're going to take her for a bath. Took her, never brought her back. She ended up in the NICU for a couple days, and I was not allowed to take her home until Tuesday last week, the 16th, I think. They had her in the NICU. They said she had something wrong with her stomach and then her lungs, and they were worried about a couple different things, and they did keep an eye on her, and that was terrifying. But she is finally home. She's doing really good. She's gaining weight the way she should be and growing. She actually had a doctor's appointment today and grew half an inch since her last appointment, so that's good. And she's almost gained a pound since last week. So she's a good sized girl, and she's freaking adorable. I was pretty proud of her. Anyway, with the stitches thing, it only hurt for a few days, so that was fantastic. I walk normal. I don't really sting anymore. I can sit down. Nothing. Feel fantastic, actually. And, no postpartum depression, nothing like that. Actually, I've been in a pretty fantastic mood, and I don't necessarily sleep a lot because she does wake up every couple hours to eat, but it doesn't bother me. So I'm doing pretty good, and she's doing amazing. She eats really well, and she sleeps really good. She's very alert and vocal sometimes. She tries to coo, and she's tried giggling a couple times, and it's the craziest thing ever. She smiles a lot, and it's really sweet. Anyway, so 2 weeks after having baby, I will show you what my tummy looks like. So, in front, I have almost kind of flattened back out. I'm not too much bigger than I was when I started, so I'm pretty happy about that. I can't wait to actually be able to start working out again, because The skin feels not very tight since she did have me stretched out pretty good. So I'm definitely ready to start working out again. And I gotta get the okay. I gotta get the okay from my doctor tomorrow. So we'll see. Uh, anyway, that's pretty much it. I'm sorry this is a really long video, and I'm sorry that I was so spacey. I'm very easily distracted now. And yeah, anyway, when sometime after she wakes up or something, if she's in a good mood, I'll go ahead and show her in a video. Um, until then, if you have me on Facebook, you already know what she looks like because I do have pictures of us up. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and go because she's bound to wake up anytime. So, anyway, love you guys. Bye.